Elizabeth's Craft Room. Do you ever find you end up with lots of pieces of really pretty designer series paper, none of which is quite big enough to make a full project on its own or a full background for a project? Let me show you one of the things that you can do with that. So I'm going to make a card today using the Bring On the Present stamps and the matching framelits. But we'll start off by actually doing the background with some scraps of that paper. So what I've done is, these are two little bits that I've got left, and I'm going to start off just to get my sizing right. The end off that glue, and we're going to just glue all over here. And I'm just using a bit of Whisper White just to get ourselves a good base for this. And then I'm also going to glue a bit of glue there as well, and I'm going to join those two together. And then take a pair of snips and just trim off the excess. There we go. Now I have got a little join there, but not to worry because we're going to cover it up. We're going to make a present. Now what I want to do is to layer this onto the card and then see what sort of size of designer paper I want to use for making my wrapped gift on the front of this card. So let's pop that layer on, and I'm putting this onto a Granny Apple Green base card. And I think I'm going to use this one for the gift. Let's have a look. And I think this is the best option for what I want to do. Now, is that a little bit big? I think it's just a tad big. So what I'll do is I will stick that on again to a piece of cardstock. I'm going to put some ribbon and things on this, so it's quite handy to have it on some cardstock anyway. Stick it on there, and I'm going to go and give this a little trim. So I've trimmed that layer down to about 3.5 by 3.5 inches, and I'm going to pop that on the card. I'm going to pop that on the front. We'll just see how we actually lay it out once I've got all the other embellishments on it. So the first thing I want to do is to add some ribbon, and I'm going to use snail and just pop that across. Now another way of hiding joints is with ribbon, so something else that you can do, my ribbon scissors. Something else you can do is hide your joints with a bit of ribbon, and actually having this on a piece of card makes wrapping that ribbon round super easy. There we go. Put a little bit of snail there, and this is the 1 centimetre ribbon. What are we calling that in inches? 1 centimetre, 3/8 of an inch. And so we've got our little gift ready to pop on. But we need to decorate that, so let's do some stamping for that. So I'm going to use this large bow image. And we'll stamp that. I think I'm going to use Memento so I can colour it in using blends, because the Memento is a water-based ink and the blends are alcohol-based. So you need to have the opposite when you're doing your colouring. We'll do a little tag as well. When they're quite bendy like this, I do find it's easier to just pop them down and pick them up. If you try and put them on the block, you can get a kind of a bendy effect going on, which isn't necessarily what we want. Okay. And there's some greetings here. We've got North Pole delivery, a gift just for you, and season's greetings in here. I'm going to use North Pole delivery. And I'll stamp that. This is the Poppy Parade I'm using for that. Okay, let's do a little bit of colouring, and I'll go ahead. I think I'm going to use the Poppy Parade blends, and how I like to do the blends is to colour all over in the lighter colour, and then add some darker elements on there. So I'll go ahead and do that. Right, so now I've coloured all over with the light, I'm going to go in and do some darker shading. So we're going to have lots of darker around the middle. Anywhere where we've got the little loops, that would be shaded, so I'm going to do those with the darker colour as well. And a little bit underneath where we've got these little pieces on the inside layering over the outside, and then finally I'm going to go around and do the outer edges in the darker colour. And then we'll blend in using the lighter. And you get quite a nice kind of blended effect there. Now we don't need to fussy cut these because we have dies. So this one is going to cut out our North Pole, and then we've got the one that will cut out the flower. So I will go ahead and do that. Right, so I've cut those out using the Big Shot, and you'll see you get a little tag hole there, and you get a very small white outline on this one. They do look pretty, I think. I call this a flower. It's a bow, not a flower. I'm going to just use a tiny bit of this 1/8 of an inch ribbon and feed it through that hole. It's not doing anything kind of practical as such, but I'm just going to use it to attach onto here. So I'll put it onto the back with a little bit of tear and tape just to hold that in place. There we go. I will peel the back of the tear and tape off, but I am going to use dimensionals to pop this up. And I might need one on the bow, on the tag, just to keep that positioned. So let's go ahead and do that. Just love that look. Okay, now I want my, you see what I mean about this label. I'll probably need to twiddle it a little bit. Let's work out how we're going to have this. I think round like that. Okay. Now, important thing to know if you're in the UK is if you use one layer of dimensionals, you are fine for regular mail, regular postage costs. But if you go to 2 layers of dimensionals, if I popped this up as well, then you would be a little bit touch and go whether you were in a large letter. And for those that don't know, in other areas, the large letters are a lot more expensive to post. So we're always a little bit cautious with our dimensionals, unless you're handing it over, in which case you can go mad and have as many layers as you like. I'm just going to pop that so that the edge doesn't come over. And there you go. It's a really good way to use up scraps of designer paper. I've got one in a different colourway here. And I hope you have enjoyed that and it's given you a few little ideas. If you would like the Bring On the Presents stamps or the matching dies, if you get them both together, it's a 10% discount. You can get them from elizabethscraftroom.blogspot.com or have a little look down below for a link to here or my online store. Thanks very much for visiting, and I look forward to welcoming you back again soon.